Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keep on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Who is this?
Big Bucket.
Big Bucket. Let's go ahead and get this party started, Bears fans.
Walter Payton, it's the man.
Find Cole Kmet wide open. Touchdown, Bears. Let me put it on again. Keep is on fire. I love it. I could probably beat him in the 40. Let's freaking go, Chicago Bears fans. Breaking news out of Chicago.
I think I can fit in as like a water boy for the Panthers or something. I'm talking about get on the field,
Put it right behind me, so every time I'm on the podcast, like, you got Isaiah Fry's jersey? Hell yeah, I do. Let's go. You got on with the Bears organization. You got high up. Would I be like a water boy for you or something? What's going on? What role am I? Comment bear down if you love Keek on the Mic and if you love the Chicago Bears.
Who is this?
George as house.
And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic.
What is going on, Chicago Bears fans? Good morning to every single one of you guys. We are back for the final day of the 2025 NFL Draft, rounds 4 through 7, where the Chicago Bears have 3 remaining picks, 1 in round 4, 1 in round 5, and 1 in round 7. And there's still a whole lot of talent still on the board. But before we go any further with today's live stream and start reacting and analyzing to every single pick that the Chicago Bears make today in rounds 4, 5 through 7. I want to first and foremost thank every single one of you guys for hopping on the stream the last couple of days. My main goal is to do more streaming here live on YouTube for you guys. Definitely gonna have some more free time on my hands, so that's gonna be definitely a fun thing for me to do. Make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the platform. And we are on the road to 18,000 subscribers. So once again, thank you guys so much for all the love and support. I also want to give a huge shout out to a huge sponsor of mine for this 3-day NFL draft live stream right on the podcast. And that is Mr. Chambo for his Hawaiian State book series. Hawaiian State is a five book series with the premise of what if the Hawaiian monarchy had held on to power. Once again, this series can be right up anyone's alley. If your grandma likes to read, if your mom likes to read, if your dad likes to read, especially if you are a high school or middle school teacher looking for class sets, this could be a good opportunity to get a really good deal on a really, really good 5-book series. You can find this series on Amazon for $14.99 or even get it free on Kindle as well. The link is attached in the description of today's live stream. Once again, huge shout out. Make sure you guys go check out the series, the Hawaiian State series. But Bears fan, thank you once again for tuning in. We have a big day ahead of us. We have a lot of draft picks still going on, 4, 5, and 7. And we only got a 4th round pick because Ryan Poles traded down with the Buffalo Bills yesterday, 15 spots to pick 56. Obviously a part of that deal is they got that extra 2nd round pick, which ended up being Shamar Turner. And then they also were able to get a 4th round pick in return, which is that pick 109. So let's go ahead. Before we go any further, we're going to go ahead and look at the first couple picks here of round 4. And as you guys can see, the Tennessee Titans are officially on the clock. Then we got the Jaguars, the Giants, the Patriots, the Jags again, Vegas, and then the Chicago Bears at 109. So the Bears are the 7th pick in the 4th round. A player that I really want the Chicago Bears to take a look at is between Jack Sawyer, the edge rusher out of Ohio State, or Cam Scataboo, the running back out of Arizona State. I think Cam Scataboo would round this draft out perfectly. We still are in a need of another running back to pair with DeAndre Swift. I think Cam Scataboo would be a big time addition to the Chicago Bears football team. But once again, looking at some of other players that could still be available for the Chicago Bears, just in terms of needs that the Chicago Bears have. So if we look at the running back position real quick, of course, you have guys like Dylan Sampson from Tennessee still on the board. Bayshul Tutin out of Virginia Tech would be a really good player for the Bears to consider. Of course, Cam Scataboo, Trevor Etienne would also be a very good player. So there's still a lot of talent in terms of the running back department. If you're looking at the edge rushers, Obviously, you look at Jack Sawyer being a big time player. Maybe Braden Swinson out of LSU could be a big time player here in round 4 for the Chicago Bears. But once again, a lot of talent still on the board. And coming off a huge day 2 for Ryan Poles, absolutely perfect day 2. Be able to get Luther Burden at 39, a guy that was supposed to be a first round pick and fell right into the Chicago Bears laps. He's going to be a dynamic playmaker for this Bears offense. And then you turn around and get Aji Chapillo, a guy that's very versatile, that can play left or right tackle, 6'8", 309 pounds. Really excited about him. And then by trading down, you're able to add to both of the trenches, right? You're able to get Aji Chapillo, the tackle that you've been wanting for competition. And then also you're able to get Shamar Turner, a guy that's going to be a awesome run stuffer in this defense, has versatility playing inside and outside. Perfect fit for Dennis Allen's defense here in Chicago as they look to not only bring in strong rotation pieces to this Bears defensive line, but Shamar Turner can easily be a day 1 impact player as well. Let me remind you guys that both Luther Burden and Shamar Turner were 5-star recruits out of high school. And early on in the process during the NFL draft, they were projected to be top 10 to top 15 to 20 picks in the NFL draft. And both of those players fell right to the Chicago Bears in round 2. So Ryan Poles and the Bears are absolutely killing this draft so far. And I'm excited to see what he's able to do in day 3. We have, once again, 3 huge picks with round 4, round 5, and round 7. I think it could be another huge day to round out this draft class for the Chicago Bears, to bring in players that can be impact players and help us win as soon as this year. Doug G, how you guys doing? Nick, my mother-in-law and father-in-law are watching. I appreciate you guys. If the Bears draft Scataboo, I'll buy you his jersey. I would definitely appreciate that. You guys have to understand, for me, Cam Scataboo is very special. Not only is he from my hometown, in Sacramento, Rolinda is that where he's from, is right around the corner from where I live. So that would be special. And then he went to Sac State, my alma mater. I went to Sac State for 4 years. And then he went to Arizona State. So obviously that is really special for me. But besides me being close in terms of where Cam Scataboo grew up, to where I grew up, he's an outstanding player. You can tell why people are so in love with him. He is a power back, a 3-down back. He's a willing blocker, just the way that he runs. And now he's going to have a chip on his shoulder when he gets drafted, because he's probably going to be pissed that he dropped this far, because he had that mentality that he was the best running back in this draft class, right? So the Chicago Bears are able to get him in round 4. That would be a huge win to round out to what we already have. Perfect complement to what we have in DeAndre Swift. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, we already have Roschon Johnson. We already have this. Cam Scataboo is that guy. Cam Scataboo is going to be a great player for whoever drafts him. And hopefully it's the Chicago Bears here in round 4. But Jack Sawyer can definitely be a player for the Bears too. I know they're looking for at least one more edge rusher to pair with Dayo Odengbo, to pair with Montez Sweat. Jack Sawyer seems like the type of guy that Dennis Allen and the Bears would love, the type of energy and relentlessness that you're kind of looking for in your edge rushers. So I could definitely see the Bears looking at Jack Sawyer or Cam Scataboo here in round 4. And then in round 5, that's when it gets tricky. Maybe looking for maybe safety depth there, maybe defensive tackle depth there. But I could definitely see the Bears drafting one of the running back, edge rusher, or safety here in day 3 of the 2025 NFL draft. So Bears fans, I want to know from you guys in the comment section, who do you want to see the Bears draft in round 4, 5, and 7? Once again, 3 huge picks in day 3. Once again, I appreciate you guys for the consistent support. Johnny says, I would love to have Cam Scataboo. Same here. Cam Scataboo would be absolutely huge. I would probably have a mini crash out here on the podcast this morning if we drafted Cam Scataboo. It's really, really special for sure to have a guy that lives in your area and kind of see firsthand the hard work that he's put in, because once again, played at Rolinda High School, won a state championship, was really, really big deal back in 2018 when he won that state championship, and then went to Sac State, had a good career at Sac State, once again, graduated from Sac State as well. And then went to Arizona State, and what he was able to accomplish there was absolutely remarkable. A lot of people think that he is just a power back, but he can definitely be a 3-down back in terms of running, in terms of pass protection, in terms of catching the ball. The backfield had 42 catches last year for Arizona State, and just the mentality that he's going to bring. He's an ultimate football player. He's all football. right? So, and once again, having that chip on his shoulder now from him dropping so far here in this year's draft will be huge for the Chicago Bears. Doug says, I want the choice of Sawyer or Cam in the 4th. Yeah, I think that's the consensus right now for Bears fans. And he also said it would be great to have that tough decision for the team. Absolutely. I think we're able to have Jack Sawyer or Cam Scataboo right in our laps here at 109. That would be a huge deal. So the pick is in for the Tennessee Titans at the start of round 4 here. And that means we are going to have the Jacksonville on the clock, and the Tennessee Titans have selected wide receiver Tremere Dyke out of Florida. So at 103, it's going to be a wide receiver. So now Jacksonville is on the clock at 104. So that's obviously really good news for the Chicago Bears. Still have Jack Sawyer and Cam Scataboo, and with the other running backs here on the board, now Jacksonville is going to be on the clock. Once again, I do appreciate you guys being here. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Also hit the like button today as well. And let every single Bears fan that you know that I'm here live until the Chicago Bears are done picking for today. Once again, we have rounds 4, 5, and 7 for the Chicago Bears today. So Tremere Dyke, the wide receiver out of Florida, is heading to Tennessee. Getting Cam Ward a nice little weapon from Florida. And now we have Jacksonville on the clock. Here's what concerns me, Bears fans, is if you look at the order of round 4, the Las Vegas Raiders are right before the Bears, and the Raiders have been screwing the Bears this whole draft so far. So hopefully they don't do anything stupid, but I'm really hoping for Scataboo in round 4 here. Yeah, I really think it's going to be Scataboo in the 4th. Edge rusher in the 5th, and safety. I think running back, edge, and safety are the players that we want today. Yeah, someone says, how does that keep? Yeah, I don't know why the Raiders are right before us. I think the Raiders are trying to pay us back because we stole Ben Johnson from them. Because remember, they were in on the Ben Johnson sweepstakes as well. He ultimately chose the Chicago Bears. And I think they're trying to pay us back because they took Genty and then they traded with someone that they took a player that we wanted. And they just been kind of screwing the Bears this whole draft so far. So we'll see what they do here. I'm in a couple of picks at 108, and then the Bears will be at 109. So Jacksonville's pick is in at 104, and now the New York Giants will be on the clock here in round 4. So we're about to find out here shortly who Jacksonville is taking. The pick is in for Jacksonville here as the Chicago Bears will have their first pick of day 3 here in just a couple of picks. We do play the Raiders this year. We play the Raiders in Vegas, I believe. So hopefully we get some revenge. Hopefully we get some revenge. Or I guess the Raiders are going to be trying to get revenge on us. The pick is in for the Jags. Just waiting for the announcements. Yeah, someone says, hope the Raiders take a wide receiver. Yeah, we just don't want Cam Scataboo gone here. Cam Scataboo or Jack Sawyer are the two players I at least want on the board when the Bears pick here. I have a feeling that even if it's not Cam Scataboo in round 4, I think we are going to take a running back here. That is my prediction. The Bears are probably going to take a running back here in round 4. Between that or an edge rusher. Makes a lot of sense here. We got our D tackle last night in Shamar Turner. Let's see who the Jags take. Okay, that kind of hurts. The Jags just took running back Bashal Tutin out of Virginia Tech. That was a guy that the Bears were interested in. Dynamic, one cut and go, nifty spin move. Kind of similar to what we already have in DeAndre Swift, though. So I think, once again, that's why I like the fit with Cam Scataboo and DeAndre Swift a little bit better, because it's just a different, like, this is kind of similar to what we already have in DeAndre Swift, but it would have been a good option for the Bears in round 4. But the Jags go Tootin out of Virginia Tech here. So that's one running back off the board. And now the Giants are on the clock with the wide receiver running back being the first 2 picks in round 4. And now the Giants are on the clock. Then we'll have the Patriots, the Jags again, the Raiders, and then the Bears. Yeah, Tootin would have been nice for the Bears for sure. Yeah, last name's Tootin, Young Zale. Yeah, maybe we don't want him with a last name Tootin. That's crazy. Maybe Tootin. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's Tootin. Kind of a funky last name if you ask me. So once again, so you guys can kind of see what I'm seeing right now. Here, the pick is now in for the Giants. We've had Jameer Dyke out of Florida go to the Titans, and then Bashal Tootin out of Virginia Tech running back to the Jags. And now the pick is in for the Giants at 105 here. And now the Patriots at 106 in round 4 will be on the clock. So we're about to see in a second who the pick is in for the Giants now. I think it's going to be tough. If Cam Scataboo and Jack Sawyer are both there for the Bears with their picking a couple picks, that would be a tough decision. Yeah, Cam Scataboo, tough, physical, and violent. 3 down back is what I'm thinking. Like, I don't know. Yeah, edge or running back. Edge or running back for the Bears, I think, here around 4. As the pick is in for the Giants here at 105 in round 4. So who the Giants going to take here? Oh, there we go. Damn. The Giants in the 4th round take Arizona running back Cam Scataboo at 105. So Cam Scataboo is now off the board at 105 to the Giants. Damn. Damn. Cam Scataboo goes 105 to New York. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. So Cam Scataboo is off the board to the Giants with Jack Sawyer still on the board. So Cam Scataboo is a New York Giant. That's a tough one. Just a couple of picks. Dang, that's a good pick for the Giants. That's a good pick for the Giants. Man, that's a good pick for the Giants. Going to the Dallas Cowboys division. So be prepared. Be prepared, Mama Jen, because he's coming with some heat. He is a violent, physical running back. He is just, that's tough. I would have personally taken Cam Scataboo in the 2nd round, personally. That was just me. I am shocked that he dropped this far in the NFL draft. Like, just downhill violence, just showing, oh my God. Yeah, this is a great pick for the Giants. Giants fans, you guys should be ecstatic. And he's a good receiving back. Has 1,700 rush yards in 2024, which was 2nd in college football behind Ashton Genty. So now we move on. Yeah, that definitely bummed me out a little bit. I definitely would have loved him for the Bears, but now we move on, and the Jags are back on the clock as the pick is in for the Patriots. Yeah, that's a great pick for the Giants. Just a violent runner. But still a lot of good running backs on the board here for the Bears. As the Bears are about to pick here shortly at 109. The pick is in for the Patriots as Cam Scataboo is now going to the New York Giants. Pick is in for the Patriots, and now the Jags are on the clock. So here comes the Patriots pick here. Definitely wanted Cam Scataboo, but Cam Scataboo is now off the board for the Bears. Yeah, we just need a big, for me, I think we need a big physical running back to complement Swift. You don't want to have the same running back as DeAndre Swift, right? So I think they need to complement Swift with a power back. Like a guy that's a power back, but it's also a 3-down back, right? Not a guy that's just going to come in on short yardage situations, a guy that can block, a guy that can catch out of the backfield, a guy that's just kind of like a violent runner. And I think we have that in Roschon Johnson, and maybe that's what Ben Johnson is thinking. But, man, Scataboo's off the board, though, is crazy. It took him until the 4th round to get picked. Yeah, someone said Giddens or Martinez would be good options. And, yeah, we could take a look, too, at the prospects still available by position here. I'll put it on the screen here for you guys so you guys can see. Obviously, like I said, Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee would be a good option here, as Cam Scataboo just went off the board to the Giants. You still have Trevor Etienne would be a decent option for the Bears. Right, so there's still some options on the board. I can see the Bears going Jack Sawyer, though. I can see the Bears going Jack Sawyer, though, here, as the pick is in still for the Patriots. As you can see, there's a run on running backs here early in the 4th round with Tootin and Scataboo going back-to-back, which kind of was not good for the Bears. But like I said, Jack Sawyer kind of makes a lot of sense here round 4 for the Bears as well if they are looking for an edge rusher. So we will see here shortly what the Bears are thinking. Yeah, I agree. Jack Sawyer would be a really good option for the Bears. A really good option for the Bears. For me, I think that's the route that I would go right now with the kind of running backs kind of flying off the board. I think for me, it was Cam Scataboo or nothing here in round 4. But now with him off the board, and here we go. The Patriots select Greg Woodson, the safety out of Cal. So the pick is in now for the Jags. And now the Raiders are on the clock, and the Bears are going to be picking here in 1 pick. So the Patriots take Greg Woodson out of Cal. Once again, Jack Sawyer still on the board for the Bears if that's what the route they want to go. But the pick is in for Jacksonville as they're picking for the 2nd time already here in round 4. The Patriots having a good draft. Will Campbell, Henderson, Kyle Williams, wide receiver out of Washington State. They got Jared Wilson out of Georgia and now Woodson from Cal. That's a great draft haul. Yeah, bear down to you as well. Bear down to you as well, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So here we go. The pick is in for Jacksonville at pick 107. The Raiders are on the clock, and then the Bears will be on the clock. The Chicago Bears are about to be on the clock. So here comes the Jag selection. We're seeing here who the Jags have selected. Oh my God. Keeps freezing. The streaming service I'm watching keeps freezing. We're about to find out who the Jags picked, though. Okay, so the Jacksonville Jags took Jack Kaiser, linebacker out of Notre Dame. I think he was a great option, too. Great player out of Notre Dame. 90 tackles in 2024, which led Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Really, really good player there for Jacksonville. So now the Raiders are pick is in, and now the Chicago Bears are on the clock. The Chicago Bears are officially on the clock here. The Chicago Bears are on the clock here. So let's see what the Bears take. The Chicago Bears are on the clock. So who are they going to take here? Who are they going to take here? Because the pick is in for the Raiders. Jack Kaiser just went to the Jags. Pick is in for the Raiders. Pick is in for the Raiders. We're about to find out who the Raiders picked. So stay tuned, Bears fans, as the Bears are about to make their first selection of day 3 here. As the Bears are on the clock, pick is in for the Raiders. Waiting for the Raiders pick, but like I said, the Bears are on the clock here for their first pick of day 3. And then once again, they'll also have a 5th and 7th round pick as well today. But like I said, Jack Sawyer makes a lot of sense unless the Raiders go ahead and take Jack Sawyer here. Or the Bears could still take one of those running backs. Like Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee would be a nice player here as well for the Bears. So here we go. We're about to find out who the Raiders selected. Once again, then Bears will make their first pick of day 3. And this is the 4th round pick that they got in the trade back from the Bills yesterday. And there we go. The Raiders take Dante Thornton Jr., the wide receiver out of Tennessee. So now the Bears are on the clock. Dante Thornton Jr. was the pick, wide receiver out of Tennessee for the Raiders. So now the Bears are on the clock, and the pick is still not in. So it's a wide receiver for the Raiders. And the Bears are still on the clock. Oh, they traded. The Bears traded their pick. Buffalo, they traded with the Bills again. So now the Buffalo Bills are on the clock. Yeah, the Bills are on the clock. So the Bears are trading back. So the Bears are not on the clock anymore as they trade back with Buffalo. And Buffalo's all the way down at 132. So Buffalo is now on the clock at 109. So the Bears make a trade again, trying to get those trade details for you guys. All right, there we go. The Bears give up their 4th round pick at 109, and they add a 5th round pick. So now the Bears have 132 and 169 in the 5th round. So they add a 5th round pick here. And 169 in the 5th. So now the Bears have 2 5s. So now the Bills trade up again. So the Bills and the Bears have been trade partners a lot today. So now the Bears are going to be at 132. So we got an extra 5th round pick in this draft. So 132 and 169, which is a fifth round pick. And then Bills get 130. Bills get 109. So let's see what the Bills traded up for. Yeah, the Chicago Bears are traded down. Someone asked, Keek, tell us how long you have been a Bears fan. I've been a Bears fan my whole life. My great-grandparents were born and raised in Chicago. So they told me cool stories about when they were Bears fans, when they went to games for like 25 cents. And it just stuck with me. Actually, my great-grandparents called me Keek. So when I started the Bears podcast, it was paying homage to them when I started. So Keek on the mic is paying homage to them. So the Bills trade up for Deion Walker, was a D tackle. So the Bears get an extra fifth round pick. So the Bears trade down with the Bills again, which is kind of it's smart trying to get extra picks here. So I'll take it. So they get Deion Walker out of Kentucky after the Bears trade down and get an extra fifth round pick in this year's draft. So how do you guys like that trade? I think anytime you trade down and get extra picks, so that means the Bears will still have a fourth round pick. They'll have, I believe, 2 5s and now a 7. So now we have 4 total picks left here in the 2025 NFL draft. So once again, the Bills and the Bears have been very, very active during this year's draft process. Very, very active in this process. If you guys are just joining, the Chicago Bears were supposed to pick at 109, which was originally the Bills pick that they traded us, but the Bills jump up again to take Deion Walker out of Kentucky. Once again, looking at the screen here, they traded up for Deion Walker, and the Bears go all the way down to pick 30 of round 4, which is the 132. And then if you look at the 5th round now for the Chicago Bears have 1 pick at the 10th spot, 148 of round 5. And now we have another 5th round pick at 33 at 169. So now we have 2 5th round picks today in day 3. So 4 more picks for the Bears. I love it. I like it. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why they decided to trade down. Maybe they feel like there's still a lot of talent on the board. But you have to be careful sometimes when you are trading back, right? When you're trading back and not missing out on talent. Like that would have been a good spot for Jack Sawyer, but maybe that Cam Scataboo's gone. Maybe that's why they traded back, because maybe they wanted Cam Scataboo. So I don't know. I'm happy. I'm fine with the trade just for the simple fact that now we have an extra 5th round pick, and the more picks, the better. And Ryan Poles has always been good in the later rounds, finding some gems. So I'm fine with it. So when we look here, though, Deion Walker was the player that they traded up for, talking about the Buffalo Bills. The pick is in for the Jets, and now the Eagles are on the clock. But now the Chicago Bears don't pick until 30th. So we have some time now. So I'm wondering how the Bears are going to leverage this. Someone said I wanted a good running back. Yeah, I don't know why Ryan Poles decided to trade back. He'll tell us later. Yeah, I'm guessing they wanted Scataboo. And when Scataboo went off the board, they're like, well, we might as well trade back and get some extra picks. So. And I think Tootin and Cam Scataboo were on their board. And then they both went off the board very, very quick. So once again, the updated picks for the Bears is 132 in round 4. In round 4 here. Now we have 2 5th-round picks. 2 5th-round picks now. And I guarantee this is not the last time that he'll try to trade down either. There's one of these years I want to go to. One of these years I want to go to an NFL draft. You know, one of these years I think that would be pretty fun to try to catch an NFL draft. I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever been to a draft, but I've always wanted to go. I've been to a Bears training camp, so I got that off my bucket list. But I always wanted to. I always wanted to go to an NFL draft. So here we go. We're still in round 4, Bears fans, as you guys can see. The Jets took Arian Smith, wide receiver out of Georgia. Now the pick is in for the Eagles. Yeah, all the running backs flew off the board, and I think that kind of altered the Bears' draft plans a little bit. Someone said the Bears should select Shador Sanders. That would actually be kind of funny as a backup. He could be a backup to Caleb Williams. So Lucky, you've been to the draft in Chicago when it was in Chicago. That's really cool. That's a goal of mine is to get to an NFL draft. Yeah, I think next time it's in Chicago, which I believe it will be because Chicago is such a big city, I'm just going to go ahead and go because I missed my opportunity a couple of years ago when it's in Vegas, and Vegas is just right around the corner from where I live. So I should have taken an opportunity and went when it was in Vegas, but next time it's in Chicago, I'm going to have to go. Yeah, someone says, I'm guessing they won in Scataboo. Yeah, I'm telling you, Scataboo is on their board for sure. Someone said, I step away and come back to this. Yeah, a trade back for the Bears. Once again, I can give you guys the trade details if you guys haven't already seen. So if anyone that's just now tuning in, the Bears did trade back, and it was the compensation. The Bears trade 109 for 132 and 169. So just get moving down to a later pick here in the 4th, and then added a 5th-round pick at 169. So now the Chicago Bears have two 5th-round picks. They have 148 and 169 in round 5, and then they'll have the 233 in round 7. So 4 remaining picks now for the Bears, as the Eagles just make their pick, and they took Ty Robinson, the defensive tackle out of Nebraska. So now the Saints at 112 are on the clock. And then we would have the 49ers, Panthers, and Cardinals after them. So just moving right along. Someone said if the Bears don't draft an edge, I wonder if they still go look for a possible Trey Hendrickson trade. Maybe that's still on the cards. It's just about the money side of things when you're looking for Trey Hendrickson. I'm not sure if it's about the picks. I think it may be money, financials. Jason says, why are we trading all of our good picks back in end of rounds? We have let a lot of talent go. It's getting ridiculous. They're trying to be too smart. It's irritating. Yeah, sometimes I get it. It can be irritating. Sometimes it's better to stick and pick, but maybe Ryan Poles sees some value in certain positions here in this draft. So we'll see what they do. Yeah, too much money for Trey Hendrickson. I agree. So if anyone that's just now tuning in, the Bears did trade 109, their 4th round pick, to the Buffalo Bills for 132 and 169. So now they have those 2 5th round picks, 4 total picks left in today's NFL draft. So as we go through the process, the pick is in now for the Saints. The Eagles just took Ty Robinson. So I don't know what the Bears are trying to do here. But now it's just a waiting game. I really do believe that they got thrown off when Cam Scataboo went off the board. Yeah, he traded a lot of picks. We've been trading a lot with Buffalo today for sure. Yeah, someone said a lot of people are gonna get mad at Ryan Poles for trading back. Someone said we need a running back. Do you think Johnson has Tootin threw him off? Yeah, I think with Tootin and Cam Scataboo going off the board, that kind of threw them off. And they're like, you know what? Let's just trade back. Still have some decent running back talent on the board. So get an extra 5th round pick and see what you can do with it. See if you can find another late round gem here. You guys have to understand that in rounds 4 through 7, day 3 is when you find your hidden gems. And sometimes you find them in round 5, right? In round 7. So we'll see. We'll see if Jack Sawyer's still there at 132. I doubt it, but we'll see. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to hit on these late round picks for sure. Yeah, I don't think Cole Kmet's going anywhere. I don't think Cole Kmet's getting traded, guys, just because we got Colston Loveland. Yeah, I think Cole Kmet's could be safe. I think they're going to leverage them off each other. Let's go ahead and see. So last couple picks, Ty Robinson to the Eagles. The Saints take Danny Stutzman, linebacker out of Oklahoma. And the Niners took CJ West, a D tackle out of Indiana. And now the Panthers. The pick is in for the Panthers, and the Cardinals are on the clock at 1:15. So moving right along here. Yeah, I wonder if the Bears are going to try to trade back again, because once again, just trying to load up here in the later rounds. Still some talent on the board. I'm wondering if the Bears are going to get a running back. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that Shedeur Sanders may be, like, at this point, maybe do get him as a backup. But I don't know. We'll see. I think Shedeur Sanders definitely deserves to get drafted. I think he definitely deserves to get drafted. He could be a better backup than what Tyson Bagent is. I'm not saying Bagent's bad. But Sanders would definitely be interested. Yeah. Johnson likes his 2 tight ends for sure. Cole Kmet's not going anywhere. That pick does not affect Cole Kmet in terms of him getting traded. I'd be shocked if he got traded. Hey, we already have 4 quarterbacks. Yeah, maybe Ian Wheeler, the rookie that tore his ACL last year. Maybe he's a part of the plans for Ben Johnson. I'm a guy that has a lot of speed, right? Maybe he can use him as a weapon. And you have to understand that a lot of the receivers that we have, right, can be used as threats in the backfield as well. You could use them in many different ways. So maybe they just stick with DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson, right? And then use your speedster receivers as chess pieces, like Duvernay, for example, would be interesting. Yeah, I think Ian Wheeler may have some plans here in the Bears offense. Yeah, he looked good last year. We're talking about Ian Wheeler. Looked really good last year, actually. And that's the thing with Wheeler. I was like, I think if he didn't tear his ACL in like the final preseason game, I think he would have been a big part of what the Bears were trying to do last year, right? And trying to run the football. I think would have been a dynamic player. But now, especially depending on how he recovers, I think Ben Johnson could have a big plan for him. Could have a huge plan for him for sure. So here we go. At 114, the Panthers take Georgia running back Trevor Etienne. Very good pick for them. Trevor Etienne is a Carolina Panther. So Panthers get Trevor Etienne, and now the Cardinals are on the clock, and the pick is in for the Cardinals at 115. So now the Dolphins at 116 are on the clock as we are moving right along, as the Bears will now pick all the way down at 132, and we are at pick 115. So the wait is still on for the Bears, but Trevor Etienne is going to the Panthers. Trevor Etienne. Trevor Etienne could have definitely been a good compliment back to DeAndre Swift, too. Someone said, yeah, Ian Wheeler looks like a hidden gem, to be honest. He's kind of like a Bayless Jones that doesn't drop balls. We'll see. We'll see how he recovers from that ACL for sure. Maybe he's part of the plans for this Bears offense. And the Bears have so many weapons in terms of their receivers, too, that maybe they're fine, like I said, with the running backs that they already have. So the pick is in for the Cardinals now at 115. Good little draft for the Panthers, right? Surrounding Bryce Young with some talent on the outside, and McMillan and ETN. Got some defensive players as well. Got the edge rusher from Ole Miss. So good little draft for the Panthers. Yeah, free agent vet running back definitely could be in play on the cheap after the draft. Maybe that's their plan. Here we go. Here goes the Cardinal selection here. So Cody Simon, the linebacker at Ohio State, is going to the Cardinals at 115. I don't know what's going on. You know, Jack Sawyer is definitely not the most polished guy, but I like him. I wonder when Jack Sawyer is going to go. Personally, why I think someone was right. Someone said in the comments early on saying that Jack Sawyer is probably going to go at 131 right before the Bears pick. Right before the Bears pick. Someone said, my boy, keep working. You know it. You know it. I'm out here for you guys. Right? I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. For sure. I know there's a lot of different Bears content creators that you guys can choose from, but you guys choose to spend it with me. So it's humbling, and I definitely appreciate the support, guys. Definitely appreciate the support. So Cody Simon, linebacker out of Ohio State. As I can put up the board for you guys so you guys can see what's going on here. So Trevor Etienne is a Panther. Cody Simon, linebacker, going to Arizona. And now the Texans are on the clock. Oh, and there's a trade. There's a trade. So the Texans traded up with the Dolphins. Get a couple of picks here. So now the Texans are on the clock. So who are the Texans trading up for? We'll have the Texans. We'll have the Colts. And then Bengals and Titans coming up. And like I said, the Bears don't pick again until 132. 132 is when the Bears will pick here. Yeah, you have to understand that DeAndre Swift's not a bad running back, right? He's not a bad running back. And the fact that he did what he did behind a subpar offensive line, and now that we improved the offensive line, especially in terms of run blocking, DeAndre Swift should have a big year in this Bears offense under Ben Johnson for sure. So the pick is in now for the Texans at pick 116 here in round 4. I do want to let you guys know that Dylan Sampson from Tennessee is still on the board. And then Jack Sawyer is still on the board as well. Dylan Sampson's on the board. Yeah, Dylan Sampson's still on the board here. 5'8", 201, only 20 years old. Definitely could be an option for the Bears. Definitely could be an option for the Bears for sure. Dylan Sampson. Last season had 258 carries for 1,491 yards and 22 touchdowns. He's actually 5'11", 201. I don't know why I said 5'8", but he's 5'11", 201. Had a really, really good year. Also added 20 catches for 143 yards. I wonder if Dylan Sampson is there at 132. If Dylan Sampson could be an option for the Bears. So the pick is in for the Texans. See who they take here. Pick is in. So that means the Colts will be on the clock at 117, and then we'll have the Falcons at 118, Bengals at 119, and the Titans will be back on the clock at 120, and the Bears will pick again at 132 here. But like I said, Dylan Sampson, running back out of Tennessee, will be an interesting prospect for the Bears, like along with Jack Sawyer. This is the only problem with day 3 is that there's going to be a lot of weird movement, not only from the Bears, but just in general. There's going to be a lot of teams. There's going to be a lot of teams that move up. Yeah, Swift has breakaway speed and can also catch the ball. So the Rams have traded up. They get 4th round pick 117, and the Colts receive 127 and 190, a 6th round pick to move up. But yeah, Sampson is definitely intriguing. He's intriguing there. 5'11", 201. So we'll see if that's an option for the Bears. We're about to find out the pick for the Texans. Okay, Woody Marks, running back out of USC, going to Houston at 116. So there's definitely been a run on running backs here in round 4, as yet another running back goes here out of USC at pick 116. Here we go. So a lot of a huge run on running backs here in round 4 so far. And obviously the Rams have just traded up at 117. So the pick is in now for the Rams, and now the Falcons will be on the clock here at pick 117 and 118. So we're going to find out here shortly what the Rams are going to do. See, this is the cool thing. Now, sometimes it goes fast. It goes really, really fast at times. So we're going to see at 117 what the Rams are doing here. So Jarquez Hunter, Auburn running back. So a huge run on running backs here. As what? That's like the 2 straight running backs here in round 4, the last picks. Wow. A huge run on running backs. So here we go. Now we're on pick 118, Bears fans, as the pick is in for the Falcons at 118. And now the Bengals are on the clock at 119. But once again, a huge run on running backs here. All right, here we go. As I can see Chicago, I can see the Bears on the board now, right? I can see them on the little ticker at the bottom. So we are getting close. We are getting close to the Bears pick. Once again, I appreciate you guys being in here with me today. Make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. But the most important thing is hitting that like button on today's episode or live stream right here on the podcast. The pick is now in for the Falcons at 118. So we're about to find out at 118 who the Falcons are going to take, as the Bears, once again, will be picking at 132 here very, very shortly. And there we go. This is a player that I like for the Bears too, but the Falcons get Billy Bowman Jr., the safety out of Oklahoma. So Billy Bowman Jr. goes at 118 to the Falcons, and the pick is in now for the Bengals at 119. Now the Titans are back on the clock at 120. Yeah, Billy Bowman going to 118. I liked him out of Oklahoma too. I talked about him a couple of times here on the podcast. Yeah, Billy Bowman Jr. out of Oklahoma. Nice pick. Nice pick for the Falcons there at 118. Good value there at 118 for sure. Wow. So like I said, the Bengals pick is in. Titans are on the clock. Then we'll have Tampa Bay, Carolina, and the Steelers after them. Like I said, the Bears are coming up shortly with their 4th round pick after trading down 23 spots. So here comes the pick for the Bengals as Billy Bowman Jr., safety out of Oklahoma, just went to the Falcons. The Titans are on the clock. So here we go. The pick is in for the Bengals. Hey, Moose, that's crazy. Bears going to have a... You're watching all the way from Japan? That is awesome. That is awesome. I'll go ahead and put up the screen here as the pick is now in. So there we go. The Bengals have just made their selection, as you can see, and it's Barrett Carter, the linebacker out of Clemson. And now the Titans pick is in at 120, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are now on the clock. So Barrett Carter, linebacker out of Clemson, is the Bengals pick here, as you guys can see on the screen right here. Not bad. Obviously, the Bears are picks coming up shortly. It's funny that there's now people saying that the Bears should just take Shedeur Sanders, make him the backup. But wouldn't that cause a little bit too much noise for Caleb Williams in a way? You know, I know Caleb Williams is fine, but I'm not sure if you want that. I'm not sure if you want that noise. Trying to figure out when the Raiders pick again. The Bears pick at 132. The Raiders pick at 135. Could that finally be Shedeur? Could that finally be a spot for Shedeur? Round 4, 135. And that's the story right now with the NFL is when is Shedeur Sanders going to go? I feel like this drop has been insane for him. There's a lot of quarterbacks that went off the board before Shedeur that are not better than Shedeur Sanders. So we'll see. I'm really hoping that Shedeur gets drafted. If he goes undrafted, the NFL needs to be investigated. The NFL needs to be investigated if Shedeur drops out of like the draft in general. Because everyone, even my wife this morning, she's not even a big football fan. She's like, Shedeur Sanders still hasn't been drafted? I said no. And she's like, that's crazy. And she's not even a football fan, guys. So for her to even say that, that's how you know the NFL has a problem. NFL has a big problem. So there we go. The Titans have made their pick, and it's Gunnar Helm, the tight end out of Texas. That's a good pick for the Titans as well, as once again, they're continuing to load up some weapons for their new quarterback in Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick in this year's 2025 NFL draft. So Gunnar Helm out of Texas goes to the Titans. Now it's going to be the Buccaneers at 121. The pick is in for them. And the Panthers are on the clock. And then we'll have the Steelers and the Packers at 123 and 124. As the draft keeps going on. The big question is what are the Bears going to do at pick 132 when they're on the board? Like who is going to be Who's going to be available for them? I think Dylan Sampson, if Jack Sawyer's still there, would be interesting. We can go ahead and look at some of the prospects that are still available. Let's go ahead and look at edge rushers first. Jack Sawyer still available right here. Braden Swinson still available. Kyle Kennard out of South Carolina is still available. That would be a good pick for the Bears. Looking at the running back room now. Obviously, Dylan Sampson, once again, still available. Jaden Blue has been intriguing for a while. Martinez. Rashard Smith out of SMU could be a dynamic weapon for the Bears in the backfield for sure. I talked about him before as well. Looking at the safeties. So the Buccaneers take David Walker out of Central Arkansas, the edge rusher. So that's another edge rusher off the board. 6 foot, 263 there. Lathan Ransom out of Ohio State. Jalen Reed out of Penn State could be an option for the Bears at safety. Definitely some talent still on the board for safeties. So going down. So David Walker, edge out of Central Arkansas to the Buccaneers. The pick is in for the Carolina Panthers. And now the Steelers. The Steelers are on the clock now. Yeah, we definitely need a safety sometime in this draft. And I can see them taking one maybe in round 4, definitely in round 5. The pick is in for the Panthers, as we're going to find out here pretty soon. I've been saying their names, Dave, when their position. I said David Walker, edge rusher out of Central Arkansas. So now the Steelers are on the clock with the Green Bay Packers after them. And then the Chargers will have their first pick in round 4. Someone said Martinez, the running back. That could be definitely an option. I'm very curious. Very curious to see what the Bears do here at 132. Because obviously dropping down those 23 spots, it can be huge. Yeah, as you guys can see, the Panthers just took Lathan Ransom. Lathan Ransom is now a new member of the Panthers, so that's obviously not good for the Bears. That's definitely could have been a target. I mean, this is what happens when you trade down, though. When you trade down, you're definitely going to lose out on some players. So hopefully the Bears have a plan in place. So Lathan is now gone, the safety out of Ohio State. And the Steelers pick is now in. The Steelers pick is now in. And then the Packers are on the clock. Let's see what the Packers do here. Yeah, for me, I'm at this point, I'm kind of hoping for Jack Sawyer on the edge rusher out of Ohio State is my pick if he's still there at 132. Yeah, I like that philosophy, A Moose. Like he says, I feel like a good philosophy is to trade back early and trade up late. Yeah, you see that's what kind of like a lot of teams do. They'll trade back early, get a haul, and then they'll use that haul to trade up for a player that they really like in rounds 2 through 7, right? So Definitely could be a good philosophy, but once again, sometimes you can find these gems in round 4 through 7. So once again, the pick is in for the Steelers. Lathan Ransom at Ohio State safety is a Panther. So the pick is in for the Steelers at 123. Obviously, they got Derek Harmon in the first round. Didn't have a second round pick, but in third round got Caleb Johnson. So a nice little haul for them as well. Nice little haul for them to getting Caleb Johnson in round 3. Oh, there we go. Jack Sawyer is gone to the Steelers. Jack Sawyer, edge rusher to the Steelers. That's a great pick. Oh my gosh. Steelers are having a good draft. For not having a second round pick. Dang, that's a good little haul. So they got Jack Sawyer is off the board. Damn. Thank you, baby. Jack Sawyer is off the board, Bears fans, as he is now. Man, they got Derek Harmon, Caleb Johnson, and Jack Sawyer in round 4. Wow. Man, that's a bummer. That's the problem when you trade down, you're going to miss out on some talent. Jack Sawyer, I felt like would have been a good piece. Jack Sawyer would have been a good piece to our defense. Just have like a rotational player there. That's a bummer. Man, good for the Steelers though. Getting Caleb Johnson, Jack Sawyer in the 3rd and 4th. Wow. Derek Harmon, Caleb Johnson, and Jack Sawyer. With Caleb Johnson and Jack Sawyer being 3rd and 4th round picks is insane value. Insane value for the Steelers. Now the options are dwindling down for the Bears here. So here we go. The pick is in now for the Packers. The pick is in for the Packers now at 123. And the Chargers are on 124, my apologies. And the Chargers are on the clock at 125 here. The Packers went double wide receiver in this draft. Which is crazy. Freaking Packers fans, man. They crack me up. Green Bay Packers fans crack me up. Look at them. Just look at them. Looking like a bunch of chickens. Looking like a bunch of chickens over there. FGB. Everyone just put FGB in the chat. Just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. And that's crazy that Pittsburgh has no QB and they still pass on Shedeur Sanders. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, FGB. Someone said FGB deep fried. I'm weak. That's funny. So Roger Goodell's making the pick here for the Packers. As they took, you can see an edge rusher out of Texas. Baron Sorrell, edge rusher. Edge rusher Baron Sorrell out of Texas. 6 sacks, 11 tackles for loss in 2024, which was career highs for him. So the Packers get an edge rusher. Now the pick is in for the Chargers. And the Browns are on the clock as the Bears are slowly coming to their pick 132 here in round 4. Someone said, FGB, cut the cheese. Hey, at least you can stay put here in Green Bay. You've been waiting. This guy's been in the green room for all 3 days. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Have fun in Green Bay. I just want to remind you, there's nothing to do there. So there's nothing to do there. I haven't been there, and that's probably the reason why I haven't been there, because there's not shit to do. Nothing to do. So the Packers get an edge rusher. Now the pick is in for the Chargers, and the Browns are on the clock here. Yeah, someone said if the Browns and Steelers passed on Sanders, something is going on. Yeah, this is definitely a mystery. Yeah, we'll see. See what we'll see the Chargers do here. Waiting for the Chargers pick here, and then we're going to have the Browns on the clock. And then we have the Colts, Commanders, Ravens after that, as the Bears pick is approaching at 132. Man, the Bears really traded down that far. 23 picks. Traded down 15 picks yesterday with the Bills, and then traded down 23 picks today with the Bills. So it's like, man, can we just stay put and pick for the rest of the day? Yeah, a lot of talent go off the board here. See what the Chargers do here as it's slowly going through the process. I do want to say one thing. Someone that's still on the clock. Someone that's still on the board here. That a player, they did have a top 30 visit with him, is Brashard Smith, the running back out of SMU. The Bears did have a top 30 visit with him. So maybe they get him at pick 132 if he's still there. I probably just jinxed it. I'm sorry, Bears fans. I probably just jinxed it. But I do know the Bears had a top 30 visit with Brashard Smith. Yeah, Doug, that's why I said there's nothing to do in Green Bay. Enjoy your time. Someone asked me my thoughts on Martinez, the running back from Miami. Haven't really done a lot of research on him. Brashard Smith I've looked at. Obviously, Scataboo. Yep. Kyle Kennard is still a possibility. Would be a good pick for the Bears here at 132 coming up. I feel like if the Bears trade down again at 132, the Bears fans are going to have a crash out. Bears fans will have a crash out if they trade down again. Yeah, have Austin Booker too. We have Austin Booker too that he just drafted as an edge rusher last year out of Kansas. So that's why I'm thinking maybe edge rusher's not on their bingo card. The pick is in for the Chargers. Let's see who they take here. Someone said blow, pack, blow. That's funny. Blow, pack, blow. That's funny. That's a good one. That's funny. I just want to remind that Steelers has got a dog with Jack Sawyer. That's the perfect fit for him, actually. Welcome, Gary. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Oh, and there we go. Thanks, Chargers. Kyle Kennard, edge rusher out of South Carolina, is going to the Chargers. Someone just said Kyle Kennard in the chat, too. Kyle Kennard is a Charger. Yeah, that trade back is kind of hurting right now. That trade back is kind of hurting, and the Browns now pick is in. Good pick by the Chargers there. Great pick by the Chargers. Kyle Kennard, South Carolina. Yeah, that's a good pick. 125. Yeah, that's a good pick. So the pick is in for the Browns now, as Kyle Kennard is gone. And then there goes Dylan Sampson. Damn. Damn. That's like shots fired. Kyle Kennard and Dylan Sampson go back to back. Running back out of Tennessee is now gone. That's crazy. That's crazy. Kyle Kennard and Dylan Sampson off the board. Okay. And now the pick is in for the Colts. Oh man, we're getting fried right now. Only thing about Dylan Sampson, he does struggle on pass protection. So, what would have been a good pick, though? Would have been a good pick. All right, losing out all the good players so far, but it's okay. There's going to be some hidden gems here. There's going to be some hidden gems here. So here we go. Pick is in for the Colts. Who are they going to take? They take a tackle. They take a tackle, Jalen Travis, the tackle out of Iowa State. So now the pick is in for the Commanders, as the Bears are going to be on the clock here shortly. Now the Ravens are on the clock as the Commanders pick is in. Dylan Sampson is gone. So Jalen Travis, Iowa State tackle to the Colts. Someone said, Keek, you're coping. Yeah, a little bit, because I really wanted Scataboo. I'm still bummed about Scataboo, honestly. That was my top guy going into day 3. Is Scataboo, and he went, and I'm a little bit bummed after that. So here we go. The Commanders select Jalen Lane, wide receiver out of Virginia Tech. That's another wide receiver off the board. Now the Ravens are on the clock here. The pick is in for the Ravens at 129, and now the Eagles are on the clock at 130 as the Bears picking a couple picks here at 132. So the Bears are going to be on the clock here shortly at 132. But Jalen Lane, wide receiver out of Virginia Tech, is going to the Commanders. The pick is in for the Ravens. Yeah. The Ravens definitely got a steal. They're the ones that got Mike Green. That is crazy that Green fell. I know he has allegations, but man. So the pick is in for the Ravens now as the Eagles are on the clock. Let's see who the Ravens take here at 129 as the Bears are about to pick again at 132. And then we're at the back end of round 4. And obviously the Bears have 2 fifth-round picks with the trade back, and then they'll have a 7th. I think Rashard Smith may be the pick here for the Bears if he's there at 132. I hope I don't jinx him. Yeah, Swinson is still available as well. Swinson is still available as well. Someone said we're close to the game trading back again. Probably so. It wouldn't surprise me if the Bears do try to trade back here again. Because we're at pick 129. Eagles are on the clock here. I think Bears fans would have a crash out here. Oh, it looks like the Jets. The Jets just traded up with the Eagles. Yep, the Jets just traded up with the Eagles. So now the Jets will be on the clock. And then it'll be the Saints and the Bears. So the Eagles trade back. Yeah, I know you. Someone said that they're in Japan. So the more that the Bears trade back, the later you will be up in Japan waiting for the Bears to pick. 2:30 a.m. Wow. 2:30 a.m. That's crazy. It's 10:28 a.m. where I'm at. Someone wants to know what's our other pick after 132. We'll pick at, I believe it's 148 and then 169 in the 5th. So we have 148 and 169 in the 5th. And we pick at 233 in the 7th right now. Once again, Bears fans, I want to give a huge shout out to the Hawaiian State book series. It's a 5-book series that is on Amazon for $14.99. You can also get it free on Kindle as well. Anyone, if you like to read, your grandma, brother, sister, cousin, it doesn't matter. Go check it out in the link in the description of today's video. Make sure you do me a huge favor by buying the Hawaiian State series. Huge shout out to my old teacher, Mr. Chambo. So Teddy Buchanan out of Cal, linebacker, is going to the Baltimore Ravens. I talked about him in some of my mock drafts as well. Really liked him out of Cal. That could have been a good late round find. Didn't have him as a 4th round pick, but I felt like he could have been a good late round find. So Buchanan, at linebacker out of California, goes to the Ravens. And now the Jets are on the clock. The pick is in for the Jets. And now the Saints are on the clock. So the Bears are only 1 pick away now from being back on the clock. Hopefully it's not a trade back. Yeah, Moose, I'm agreeing with you. It hurts that Scataboo. That Scataboo went off the board. So the pick is in for the Jets now. So Teddy Buchanan, linebacker of California, is the newest Baltimore Raven here in round 4. We're at pick 130 with the Jets. And the Jets just make their pick. And it's Malachi Moore, safety out of Alabama. So another safety off the board at 130. And the Saints are on the clock. And now not the Bears are on the clock, but Malachi Moore is on the clock. Someone said we're cooked. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see who they take here. There's still some talent on the board. Rashard Smith is a guy that I'm looking at. They had a top 30 visit with him. So if they're able to trade back and get a guy that they had a top 30 visit with, the guy that they obviously really, really liked, we'll see. We'll see. As the Saints are still on the clock here, and then the Bears will pick here at 132. There we go. Pick is in. The Chicago Bears are now on the clock again, Bears fans. So I'm going to go ahead and take this down so we don't see the pick here. The Bears are on the clock. As we can see, Devin Neal, Damian Martinez is on the board. Rashard Smith is still on the board as well. Bears are finally on the clock. Hopefully it's not a trade down. Hopefully they actually stick and pick here. Will the Bears actually pick? The pick is in for the Saints, by the way, at pick 131. And that pick still has not been in. So we'll see what the Saints do. And then we'll round out round 4 here. So what is this going to be for the Bears now? So here comes the Saints pick right now, Bears fans. Hopefully we find a diamond in the rough here. We're about to find out the Saints pick. And the Saints take Quincy Riley, the cornerback out of Louisville. Quincy Riley, the cornerback out of Louisville, as the Bears are still on the clock. Quincy Riley, the cornerback out of Louisville, going to the Saints. As the Bears are still on the clock. Let's see who the Bears take here. Hopefully it's not a trade back. I swear if this is a trade back with Buffalo, I'm going to lose it. I swear there's a trade back with Buffalo. I'm going to lose it. They're still on the clock here. The Bears are still on the clock here. At pick 132 after the trade back with the Bills. Oh, nope, they're clapping. Thank you. They're clapping. They're on the phone with somebody. They made a pick. They made a pick. With 150 left on the clock, though, looks like they're making a pick because Ben Johnson's talking to someone right now. So, yep, the pick is in, Bears fans. The pick is in. The pick is in for the Bears. So we're about to find out who the Bears select here. Let's see who the Bears pick here. Pick is in. Let's see who the Bears take here. Yeah, the pick is in for the Bears. We're about to find out here shortly what they're going to do with that pick. Oh, wow. The Bears take a linebacker out of Maryland. A linebacker out of Maryland and Ruben Hypolyte the second. Ruben Hypolyte the second out of Maryland. Linebacker out of Maryland. Interesting pick there. 5'11", 240 from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 40-yard dash ran a 4.4. He ran a 4.4 40, 66 tackles in 2024. Has some good instincts and traits. Really, really fast. 6.5 tackles for loss in 2024. But the Bears draft Ruben Hypolyte. Yeah, they definitely have a plan for him. Yeah, you know, especially with Dennis Allen on the fold, they definitely have a plan for him. Ruben Hypolyte. Let's put it on the board here. The selection for you Bears fans. Interesting pick. Interesting pick here for the Bears. How's everyone feeling about this pick? Obviously, we don't know much about him. But the instincts are there. 4.42, 40-yard dash. This has Dennis Allen ran all over it. That is the selection out of Maryland. Someone said officially confused. It's all about fit. It's all about fit there. Not every player. You have to, sometimes you gotta get it past the names, right? The flashy names. Guy runs a 4.42. Looks like it has really good instincts as well. Yeah, I've never heard of this guy. but did have 6 tackles for loss in 2024, ran a 4.42 40-yard dash. Someone said none of them are good. The next pick that we got is 148. So on about 16 picks here. But the Bears get a linebacker. Once again, not a running back. Yeah, once again, tested very well, but not a lot of Bears fans have heard about this guy. Tested very well, though. Remember, the Bears are all about traits, right? If they have good traits, they really like them. And like I said, this guy tested very well. 5'11", ran a 4.42 40-yard dash. Is all with the initial tape that you watch. Guys all over the field. Guys all over the field. He does have some speed that can definitely be utilized, especially in Dennis Allen's defense, right? He definitely likes guys that are faster. Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of people were saying it's a little bit head scratcher, but at the same time, you got to understand the fit. Got to understand the fit here. So we'll see what they do with him. So as we're going to go on the screen here, as you guys can see the picks. Bears take the linebacker out of Maryland. Chiefs just took Jalen Royals, wide receiver out of Utah State. As his Bears selection was linebacker Ruben Hypolyte. Yeah, good attacking. Linebacker has some speed on him. Jalen Reed is still on the board, maybe as a safety option for the Bears in round 5. The Bears still have 2 fifth-round picks here. Yeah, definitely give all the players a chance. Yeah, not every pick. Here's the thing, Bears fans. Not every pick is going to be flashy, right? Not every pick for the Bears is going to be flashy. Got to just give them the opportunity. See what the fit is in this defense. Could probably be very big value in special teams as well. But at the same time, you have to understand, each pick is made with the Bears already having a plan for this player. Yeah, just adding depth to the linebacker room. You have to remember that we did lose Jack Sanborn, right? Jack Sanborn, let him hit free agency. He went to the Dallas Cowboys. So definitely needed to get some depth in that linebacker room. Yeah, his RAS score was an 8.22, talking about Ruben. 8.22 RAS score, so definitely athletic. Once again, had a really, really good 40-yard dash at a 4.4. 5'11", 236. 18 reps on the bench press. So definitely tested well. Bears fans, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break before round 5. I appreciate you guys. I'll keep the screen of the picks on so you guys can see who the Bears are picking, but I will return shortly. All right, Bears fans, thank you so much for being patient with me. Just want to make sure to get some food in my system. The Vikings start off the 5th round with taking Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, the D tackle out of Georgia. The Vikings have been active in terms of getting their interior and their defensive line together this offseason for sure. And there's a trade. The Seahawks are trading quarterback Sam Howell to the Vikings per source. And then in round 5, D tackle Cam Jackson out of Florida gets picked by the Panthers. Now the Ravens are on the clock. The Bears will have the 10th pick in the 5th round and also the 33rd pick. And I'll be honest with you guys, probably after the 5th round picks, I'm going to hop off for today. I'll probably hop off for today. I do appreciate you guys being here with me for the duration of this stream. Like I said, the Bears have 2 5th-round picks and a 7th-round pick, but I probably won't stay on until the 7th-round pick. Especially it's going really, really slow. I got some other things to do. I got to do today with my family. But the Vikings are trading for quarterback Sam Howell as the Seahawks and Minnesota swap picks 142 and 172. So Sam Howell is on his way to Minnesota as the Panthers take Cam Jackson out of Florida, D tackle. Just looking. And the pick is in for the Ravens. The Vikings are going to be on the clock. Or I believe now. Let's see the best available prospects here. We'll go in the running back room first. Once again, still looking at Rashard Smith here. A guy that the Bears had a top 30 visit with. Obviously, a huge run on running backs in round 4. As what, about 5 or 6 running backs got taken in round 4. So definitely a huge run on running backs here. As the pick is in for Baltimore. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Round 5 would be a good round to kind of close things out. And I'll still be active posting on my X and my YouTube community page as well for you guys. If you guys want to go check that out as well. Make sure you guys are subscribed and the bell notifications are on. So you guys can see all my posts. So the Ravens take Carson Vincent out of Alabama A&M, 6'7", 314. They take a tackle as the Vikings are now on the clock here. Someone said, unless my wife discovers I'm still awake. Yeah, you need to get some sleep for sure. You need to get some sleep for sure. Chaz, we're moving right along. The Vikings at pick 142. Like I said, the Chicago Bears first pick will be at 148 here in a couple of picks, and then they'll pick again down the stretch at 169. Like I said, still a couple of running backs on the board that I would be intrigued with. Definitely a couple of running backs I would be intrigued with. The pick is in for Seattle here at pick 142. Like I said, I do appreciate every single one of you guys' support as you guys continue to watch the stream. It's a long process, right? It's a long 3 days. But we're already in round 5 here. Pick 142 for the Seahawks. So the pick is in. Let's see what the Seattle Seahawks take here as the Dolphins are now on the clock at 143. And then the Seahawks pick again at 144. So 2 back-to-back picks for Seattle around 5 here. The Seahawks take defensive tackle Riley Mills out of Notre Dame at pick 142. And then once again, they're right back on the clock at 144 as the pick for Miami is in. Back-to-back picks for Seattle here, and then we'll have the Eagles on the clock for their first pick here in round 5. And obviously, still the big story is Shador Sanders. Like now, the talk is that he may go undrafted. I guess the NFL is trying to make a statement. I don't know what I don't get it. Yeah, I really don't get it. I think Shador is a pretty good player, right? And for him to go undrafted possibly is a crazy development. Someone said, "Hi, Keek. Who won the Caleb Williams jersey?" Yeah, I announced it pretty quickly or briefly on day one, and also posted it on my X as well. But the winner of the Caleb Williams jersey was Rudy. His name was Rudy. He won the Caleb Williams jersey, so congrats to Rudy. But there's also another giveaway that's going on of a Colston Loveland jersey as well. That winner's gonna be announced in a couple days. So if you have already entered, go on my X right now and you guys can enter the Colston Loveland giveaway as well. So the Browns have just traded up over the Eagles as Miami takes Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle out of Maryland. But the Browns have just traded up at pick 144. So who is Cleveland wanting to get here? So the pick is in for Cleveland that they traded up past the Eagles. So I wonder who they want. But the Eagles are now back on the clock at 145. And the Bears will have their first 5th round pick at pick 148 here in the 5th round. And they'll pick again at 169. Sorry, I'm just watching and sulking as Cam Scataboo gets his name called earlier in today's draft, and he's just emotional, and it just means a lot to him. Happy for the guy for sure. And it looks like Colston Loveland's going to officially wear at number 84 in the NFL. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, Bears fans, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to hop off after this first 5th round pick just to get some extra time spending time with my family. And like I said, I'm going to continue to post on X as well. But like the pick is in. I appreciate you, Michael, for being a consistent supporter of mine as well. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I definitely try to balance this and, my life. I mean, you guys definitely make it enjoyable for me as well. But after this next 5th round pick, I'm going to go ahead and probably hop off. But the pick is in for the Browns. Yeah, at this point for anything, I think Shedeur Sanders would be at least a good backup for this for anybody. Interesting to see who they get. Oh, here we go. The Browns have now selected quarterback Shedeur Sanders at number 144. So Shedeur Sanders gets drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Wow, the wait is over. Cleveland in round 5 after drafting Dylan Gabriel in round 3. Draft another quarterback, and Shedeur Sanders at 144 is a Cleveland Brown. So, wow. So, Shedeur Sanders is going to Cleveland. Wow. So they traded up for him past Philadelphia to get Shedeur. Sanders to Cleveland. Wow. So the wait is over. The wait is over for Shador Sanders. That's a great pick for them in round 5. Like I said, I feel like he's a good player. I feel like the drop was a little bit too long. Yeah, very interesting that they drafted Dylan Gabriel in round 3, but then opted to trade up and go get Shador as well. They drafted 2 QBs. I think Shador is better than Dylan Gabriel, though. I really believe that Shador Sanders is better than Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, Flavio, we picked early on in the 4th. Got a linebacker out of Maryland. And now we're about to pick here in round 5 in a couple of minutes. So the pick is in now for the Eagles at 145. As the Bears are about to be on the clock here in a couple of picks. And that will be the last pick that I do for this stream before I hop off. Been on for a couple hours for a couple of the Bears picks. Yeah, they took 2 quarterbacks, right? So they got Gabriel in the 3rd. Now they got Shador Sanders in the 5th. Very interesting. Yeah, they have Watson, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and Shador. That's a interesting quarterback room over there in Cleveland for sure. As the Eagles take cornerback Mac McWilliams out of UCF. That's an interesting quarterback room over there in Cleveland. Yeah, they have a lot of quarterbacks. Yeah, it's been a blast with you guys too as well. Like I said, I'm going to stay on for this final pick. Like I said, I've been on for a couple hours and I'm going to just enjoy the rest of my day. I appreciate you guys so much. If you guys can do me a huge favor by going to check out the link in the description of today's video. I know a couple of you guys have already looked at it and even bought books, but it's the Hawaiian State series from my old media teacher, Mr. Chambo. Once again, it's a 5-book series with the premise of what if the Hawaiian monarchy had held on to power. This series can be right up your alley. This series is great for middle school students and high school students as well. So just do me a favor, $14.99 on Amazon or free on Kindle. Go click the link in the description of this live stream and just give it a chance. Help my old teacher out. Really great mentor for me. And he was a sponsor of this 3-day live stream. And I really, really appreciate him. And just do me a favor and go click that link for me and support him as well. So New England's pick is in as the Bears are about to be on the clock for their first 5th round selection. So we're about to see who the New England Patriots take at 146. Still some good talent on the board as the pick is in. The Niners are on the clock at 147, and then the Bears will be on the clock for pick 148. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the best situation for Shador in a sense, but there's going to be a lot of competition for him over there in Cleveland. So wishing him nothing but the best. As the pick is in. And that's a great pick for the Patriots. Braden Swinson, the edge rusher out of LSU. I know that we were kind of talking about him as well, but Braden Swinson, the edge rusher out of LSU, gets drafted 146 to the New England Patriots. Someone said Dion made them an offer that they couldn't refuse. Maybe so. So now the Bears are on the clock. The Bears are on the clock as the pick is in for the 49ers. The Bears are on the clock for pick 148 here in round 5. And we're about to figure out who the Bears are going to add. Yeah, I don't know why the Browns took Dylan Gabriel. And now you took 2 quarterbacks for what? The Browns are confused on how they want to build their football team over there. Oh, of course. The Bears traded down. The Bears just traded back. Yep. The Bears traded back. Of course they did. Of course they did, Bears fans. The Bears traded back with the Rams. Oh my God. Why do we keep trading back? The Bears have traded back with the Rams. Yeah, they traded out of, I don't know the details yet, but the Bears trade back again. Out of 148, and it's going to the Rams. So the Bears are not on the clock anymore as they trade back again. Yeah, the Bears trade back with the Rams, trying to find out the compensation. And I'm probably going to hop off after this because they keep trading back. They keep trading back as the 49ers take running back Jordan James out of Oregon with pick 147. Trying to see what the Bears received in the trade back. Okay. The Bears I'm trying to think what they got. What did they get? Oh, hi, Jay. Hey, Jay. How you doing? Hadley is not part of the stream today. She's in the house doing something. But the Bears trade back again, and the Rams pick is in at 148. And it seems like we only have one pick now in the 5th at 169. Trying to figure out what the Bears received in this trade. So it looks like the remaining picks are 5, 6, 7. A pick in the 5th, a pick in the 6th. So they got a 6th round pick. Then they have a pick in the 5th, pick in the 6th, and then pick in the 7th. So the Bears trade. Just trying to find out the compensation here. And they take Ty Hamilton out of Ohio State, D tackle. The Rams trade up with the Bears for Ty Hamilton. As the Bears, I'm trying to figure out who they trade. What did they trade? All right, here we go. All right, so the details. The Bears receive a 2025. So the Rams receive 148. And the Bears receive a 2025 6th round pick, pick 195, and a 2026 4th round pick. So they get a next year's 4th as well. So they're stacking up for picks next year as well. Interesting. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. A 2026 4th. And the Rams get pick 148 in round 5. Interesting, huh? Interesting that the Bears keep trading back. Very, very interesting the Bears keep trading back here. They're stacking out for next year. Get an extra 4th for next year, which is sometimes not a bad idea, but I don't know why they keep trading back. But those are the trade details, Bears fans. The Bears are not on the clock, and now they just have the 1 5th round pick. Now they have a 6th round pick and a 7th round pick. So originally the Bears didn't have a 6th round pick. Now they have a 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, they only picked one player today, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they traded back twice. Traded back twice a day. Yeah, the Bears were picking, and then they traded away their 148. So definitely interesting development for the Bears here. That they went ahead and traded away their pick. Yeah, just for perspective, I want to take a look at how that affects the Bears for next year's draft as well. There's definitely a lot of trades from the Bears. Definitely a lot of trade backs for the Bears. So I'm going to go ahead and see how that affects the Chicago Bears, even for next year's draft and the picks that they have. Okay. Start draft here. Just for perspective. So the Chicago Bears did not have a 4th round pick in 2026. So then when you look at 2026, they only had 6 picks total. Now they have 4. Now they have 7 picks total next year, and they did not have a 4th round pick in 2026. So they recouped that 4th round pick that they didn't have in 2026 to have a pick in 4th round next year. So just trying to recoup, I guess, picks for next year as well. Pretty decent trade. Pretty decent trade for sure. But now the Bears don't pick again until 169. And I'll stay on here until at least one more pick for you guys. Because they pick 169. They'll pick 169, 195, and now 233. So I'll stay on here for you guys to get my reaction on pick 169. But knowing our luck, they're going to trade back again. As the picks are still going through here, the last couple of picks. Jason Marshall, cornerback out of Florida, going to Miami. Jaden Blue, the running back out of Texas, going to the Cowboys. As the Colts are on the clock. Our Colts pick is in at 151. Cardinals are on the clock at 152. Once again, the Bears don't pick now until 169. But definitely a lot of trade backs for the Bears. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, a lot of trades for Ryan Poles, but he's able to recoup that 4th round pick that he didn't have in the 2026 NFL draft. So I actually like that. Just trying to recoup some picks. And they had 2 5s. So they were able to trade one of those 5s and recoup a 4th for next year. As the Colts are making their selection here, once again, the Bears don't pick again until 169, and we're currently on pick 152. As the Colts take DJ Giddens, the running back out of Kansas State. I know this is going to make some people unhappy in the chat, as I know a lot of people said DJ Giddens will be a good find for the Bears, but DJ Giddens, running back out of Kansas State, is a Colt. And the pick is in for the Cowboys, and the Bengals are now on the clock. So DJ Giddens is now a Colt. Yeah, Bears fans, I'm going to go ahead and just hop off. And like I said, if you guys want to catch any news on trades or picks, you guys can follow me on X and my YouTube community page. I'll be posting them there. But mostly on X, I'm giving live up-to-date updates. Once again, I appreciate you guys sticking in with me here on Kick on the Mic for the first couple of hours as the Cowboys trade. But make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification. Love every single one of you guys. Make sure you guys do me a huge favor by checking out the Hawaiian State book series and the link in the description of the video. Once again, $14.99 or free on Kindle as well. This book can be for anyone. Just show me some support by showing my former media teacher some support as well on his 5 book series of Hawaiian State. Would be perfect if you guys can buy some class sets as well. If you are a teacher of middle school or high school, could be the perfect books for your class. But once again, Bears fans, appreciate you guys all the love and support. I'll be here with some new videos talking about the Bears draft class here probably today or tomorrow. But once again, have a good rest of your Saturday. God bless you guys. And as always, bear down to every single one of you guys.